YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on my top 10 tight ends going into your 2024 season, guys. So make sure, guys, that you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Let's begin. Now, listen, guys, I'm not really big on rankings, but in order to get you to start thinking about guys that you should be drafting, that way you can start watching them through the off season. And if you see something that you like, then you can pick these guys up when you start your dynasty leagues or your redraft leagues. So I'm gonna start. Like I said, there's no really particular order, but I did put these guys in order as in today. What I would do if I had to draft today. So this could change next week. It could change in a month. It could change in August. So, all right, the first tight end, guys. And also, before I get started, let me bring these guys up. I'm gonna bring up some stats. So be patient with me here. I want to go and show y'all. I want to pull up the stats of these players. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. That's why I hate this website. Okay, NFL. There we go. NFL rankings. 2024 rankings. Stats. Okay, here we go. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, here we go. All right, let me take this overlay down. It didn't share the right screen. Okay. Can I get it to share? Dang. Oh, damn. Okay, there we go. All right. Hopefully you got it. If you can't see it, let me know. I'll zoom it in. There we go. All right, guys. So the first guy that I'm going to talk about, guys, far as my number one tight end that I'm going to be targeting in 2024 is going to be Trey McBride. Yes, guys, Trey McBride from the Arizona Cardinals. So listen, the reason why I like Trey McBride, I believe he's the number one wide receiver. Now listen, could they draft Marvin Harrison? Yes, they could draft Marvin Harrison. But this guy's getting alpha targeted. So when it comes to tight ends, guys, and then you're getting 10 targets a game, you're going to be a top 5 tight end. I love Trey McBride, especially with having a quarterback like Kyler Murray that's running around and making plays. So I love Kyler Murray. And I love Kyler Murray, and I also love Trey McBride. So let's go look at some Trey McBride stats. Let's see how he did this season. So, guys, Trey McBride, let's see how many games he played. Trey McBride played 17 games, and he had 106 targets. So, let's look at these targets. He had 106 targets and 81 receptions. Now, listen, he didn't start every game in the beginning. He didn't start starting until about week 6 or week 7. So let's see. We can let's break this down to individual week. Let's go to PPR. Right. Okay. So let's go the individual week. So this is week 7 right here. Was it week 7? Let's go up to week 8. Trey McBride. So you see week 7. Let's go to week 7. He's not even up here for targets because he didn't start playing. But then week 8, he had 14 targets for the Arizona Cardinals. 14 targets. That's why I'm targeting him this year. Things changed around. So let's go to week 9. Okay, week 9. They might have hit a bye that week. I think they hit a bye that week. So let's go to week 10. Trey McBride. Second in targets and tight ends. Let's go to week 11. He didn't lead in targets that week. Might have had an injury. But anyway, let's go to week 12. Trey McBride, number 7. 9 targets. 9 targets. So, to me, guys, with him having 106 targets, I think as a young tight end, I believe this guy's going to break out. I believe this guy's going to break out. So I'm targeting Trey McBride as a tight end, 825 yards, yards per reception, 10.2. Let's see how many touchdowns did he have at the tight end position. Didn't have a lot of a lot of touchdowns. They wasn't targeting him. I think that was James Conner got more targeted, but fantasy points per game. He was number 7 with 10 points per game in fantasy. So, guys, Trey McBride is my number 1 tight end that I'm targeting. We know what Travis Kelce is. We know what George Kittle is, but they are getting older, and I don't think they're going to be the number 1 target guys for their team going in the future. These guys are going to be used for playoffs only. Trey McBride, they're not worried about playoffs. They're trying to get him the ball early and often. Okay, so let's move on to my number 2 tight end. Everybody knows who this guy is, and it's Travis Kelce. Now, Travis Kelce, he had 121 targets, caught 93 receptions. He's still Travis Kelce. Just don't draft him in the first round or the second round this year. Travis Kelce, guys, he's been the number 1 tight end for the last 5 to 6 years, maybe number 2 a couple years there when Mark Andrews had a big year. But I think you have to understand that the trajectory that what goes up must come down. So draft him in the 3rd or 4th round. If you want to draft him number 1 overall, that's okay. I would rather go after a younger guy that's going to play all 17 weeks. I don't think Travis Kelce is going to play all 17 weeks. And if he does, they're going to take him out the game early. I do think he will play next year, but why would you use him up in the regular season? That's why he wasn't getting targeted in the end of the season this year. And everybody thought he was old, but he wasn't. You see what happened in the playoff game? They were saving him for the playoffs. They didn't want to get him hurt for the playoffs. So that's the same thing. So for fantasy football purposes, he's not going to be used well. But I believe he will have big games for you. So at the tight end position, I don't think it really matters if you want Travis Kelce. Just don't draft him in the 1st or 2nd round. We didn't gotta look at he didn't have 1,000 yards this year, but he had rated 984, right? He still led yards per reception. Far as certain, he didn't have some of these guys right here didn't have enough snaps, so they got like 2 or 3 catches for this. But if you had about 100 targets, he had more yards per reception. Touchdowns, he had 5. So you see last year he had like 10, 11, or 12, something like that, right? So let's move on to my next guy. My next guy, guys, is going to be Sam Laporta. Yes, guys, Sam Laporta. And the reason why Sam Laporta is to me is my number 3 tight end is because he plays on a great offense. I don't think he's the talent that Travis Kelce is, or even a Kyle Pitts, who hasn't really had a great productive fantasy season. But this guy's on a great offense where he's never going to get double teamed. You can't double team him when you have a Jahmyr Gibbs at the running back, or even Amon-Ra St. Brown at wide receiver, or either another young wide receiver coming in on his team from 2024. So I like those type of tight ends where they always going to get one-on-one coverage. It happens with TJ Hawkinson in Minnesota. So I like TJ Hawkinson. I mean, not TJ Hawkinson, but Sam Laporta. If you look at him, guys, he had 120 targets, which was number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was number 5. 86 receptions, 889 yards, 10 touchdowns, led all tight ends in touchdowns with 10. The reason why nobody was double teaming him in the red zone, they were double teaming Amon-Ra and trying to stop the run. So Sam Laporta, don't overdraft him. Don't draft him to be some type of phenom. These are tight ends, they volatile. But I still, if you wanted to draft him as your number in the 3rd round as your number 1 tight end, I think that would be a great move. I think that would be a great move. All right, guys, moving on to my number 5. I'm sorry, my number 4 guy. Sam Laporta was my number 3 guy. My number 4 guy is David Njoku. So let's go look at David Njoku. David Njoku, guys, had 81 receptions. He had 123 targets. So you see, it's only a couple tight ends, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tight ends that had over 100 targets. So those are the guys that you have to put in the top 10. And you know all those guys' names. So David Njoku, guys, they start breaking out to the end of the season with Joe Flacco being the quarterback. I believe that Deshaun Watson will be the starting quarterback for them, and he will hyper-target David Njoku. This guy is a great yak tight end. When he gets the ball in his hands, it's hard to tackle this guy. He also had 6 touchdowns. I believe that's going to go up. I believe that's going to go to 10. If you want to draft David Njoku, wanted to wait and draft him as your number 1 tight end for your team, I think that would be a phenomenal opportunity because I think he's trending up. Of all these tight ends who've been booming, David Njoku has the most growth because of what he did at the end of the season and took this team on a playoff run. So I love David Njoku, guys. Be targeted David Njoku. As you see here, guys, he had 81 receptions, 123 targets, 882 yards, 10.9 yards per reception. So that's about 11 yards per reception. You see this 100. You see all these guys that got 10. You got Trey McBride, Njoku, Laporta, Kelce, Hawkinson. Evan Ingram had 8, but the rest of these guys, they had 10. Even Jake Ferguson, even George Kittle, even Conklin, he was decent. So you want tight ends who's getting a lot of yards per reception and targets. That's my key thing if you want to look at a stat. I'm not a big stat guy, but I wanted to try to show y'all some stats today. All right, so let's move on, guys. My next guy is going to be Kyle Pitts. Now, you might listen, Kyle Pitts stats are not going to be great. But the reason why I like Kyle Pitts, guys, they're going to get a quarterback that's going to hyper-target him and Drake London and Bijan. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Flacco come there to be a bridge quarterback and maybe groom another young quarterback that they draft. Ritter's not going to be there. If he's there, he's not going to start. So Kyle Pitts, guys, I'm taking that type of talent at the tight end position. Now, any other position, I'm not just going to go to talent unless I'm getting them late. Kyle Pitts, I will always draft him because I know he can play. I know he's a great talent, and I'm willing to take that opportunity or risk at the tight end position because it's not going to kill me if he doesn't boom. I can go and start streaming another guy. You can always stream tight end, so you can try to get Saucy or you can try to get cute at the tight end position if you don't want to get none of the top guys like the Hawkinsons and the Kelseys and the Sam Laporters, right? You can wait late to get a Kyle Pitts. I love Kyle Pitts. Let's just look at a little bit of Kyle Pitts stats here. So he had 90 targets, 53 receptions. That's a terrible catch percentage. But that's because Desmond Ridder was very inaccurate, one of the most inaccurate turnover-prone quarterbacks in the NFL. So you got to understand it. That's I would call a variable that make Kyle Pitts be the number 13 tight end. He only had three receiving touchdowns, which is bad. I think that's going to go up to around 7 or 8 at least with the new quarterback. Like I said, I think Joe Flacco could be the quarterback there. He could be the bridge quarterback. Now, he did have 10 20-yard receptions, which tells you he's a big play guy, right? He can make big plays, right? So Kyle Pitts is another guy I like. Moving on, guys. My next guy is Jake Ferguson. Now, listen, Jake Ferguson, guys, you saw in the playoffs, he balled out. He had a 35-point fantasy game. Dak Prescott, if he's still in Dallas, which I think he will be, Jake Ferguson will be getting hyper-targeted. Dak Prescott has never had a bad tight end on his team because he targets those guys so much. Guys, I will get to the comment section, so just be perfect. So, just be patient. I'm sorry. Perfect and patient. But yes. So I like Jake Ferguson, and that's another guy that I'm willing to take. Now, listen, the tight end position is deep, guys. I think I would wait late to get my guy. I wouldn't move up to get no Travis Kelce. I wouldn't move to get no Sam Laporta. None of these guys. Now, Sam Laporta, when he booms, he's going to boom. So if you wanted to get a guy for a boom week, per se, but don't be disappointed when you have a guy like a Cole Kmet or a Dalton Kincaid that outperforms Laporta in an easy game, an easy matchup. So it's going to be about 12 tight ends, if you ask me, that you can stream on a week. If you want to stream the position, I don't think it's bad. I think you can stream the tight end position because you got guys like Jake Ferguson with Dak Prescott there. And if Dak Prescott is not the quarterback in Dallas, I would move Jake Ferguson down. Okay, let's move on to my next guy. Like, I'm not going to bore y'all to death with a bunch of stats. So I'm just going to kind of get out of this, and I'm just going to pull up the player. The next guy, guys, is going to be Cole Kmet. Yes, guys, Cole Kmet. And the reason why I like Cole Kmet, guys, he's a good tight end. He's solid. He had some boom games. I believe that Justin Fields is going to be there because I think they're going to keep Matt Eberflus. So why would you keep Matt Eberflus if you got Justin Fields? So I believe Justin Fields is going to be there. And I could be wrong. This is early in the season, right? This is early or late in this season, but the other season haven't started. 2024 season hasn't started yet. But I believe Cole Kmet is good with Justin Fields. I like tight ends when I have a running quarterback. They seem to run around and make plays to the tight end. Look at Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert. Look at Lamar and Mark Andrews. Look at Colin Kaepernick and Vernon Davis. You look at Michael Vick and Algie Crumpler. I've never seen look at Cam Newton and Greg Olsen. I've never seen a rushing quarterback that didn't have a tight end that was one of his favorite targets. So that's why I love Cole Kmet. And like I said, he's talented. He's not the most talented guy, but he's good. So that's why I don't think you should be hard up to get tight ends. Now, you got to draft them accordingly to their value, but just wait late and get a guy. And just plug and play him. Don't worry about his up and down games. You just plug and play a guy. And eventually the game script is going to come to you. And you're going to look very smart. Man, you played Cole Kmet. How did you know he was going to go for 40? I didn't. I just played him. I've been playing him all season long. Okay. So moving on, guys. My next guy is Mark Andrews. Yes, guys, Mark Andrews. So listen, let me tell you a little bit about Mark Andrews. I got him ranked low where he's my number 8 tight end. The reason why is off of his injuries. I think this guy's body is beat up a lot. I don't think he's never going to be a top tight end in the game, but I think he's going to be good. He's going to be startable in fantasy. But I wouldn't expect him to be the old Mark Andrews from 2 years ago. His body's beat up. He's had a lot of injury. He's not that fast, but you don't have to be fast to be a tight end. So I mentioned this guy just because he's Mark Andrews. He doesn't have any upside to me to break out. I would rather take guys like Trey McBride, David Njoku, Sam Laporta. Those are my 3 guys that I'm targeting early if I'm a targeted tight end. Like, not early, but I would say 3rd or 4th round, maybe 5th round, right? So I'm not going to get regurgitated tight ends that's already played and been beat up for 5 or 6 years. That also for injuries. You gotta know about injuries. Trey McBride and these other guys and David Njoku and Sam Laporta hasn't had a lot of injuries. So go down with the ship with these guys. All right, moving on to my number 9 guy, and it's George Kittle. Now, George Kittle is the boom bust tight end, where either he's going to give you 5 points or he's going to give you 35 points. I like George Kittle. I've been taking him the last 2 or 3 years. Why? Because when he boom, I win that week. And when he don't boom, it doesn't bother me because I got other guys like Tyreek Hill on my line, on my squad, other boom guys. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't need my tight end to play great. I know everybody want to have the number 1 player at each position, but it's impossible. You just want guys that can give you upside weeks. You draft for upside. Don't draft for, that's the name is George Kittle. He gave me 2 bad games. I'm about to get rid of him. Something wrong with him. No, because as soon as you do that, he going to boom and somebody going to pick him up off waivers. And then you're going to be, hey, TD, man, I dropped him, man. I know I shouldn't have. And it happens. I learned that early, like my first 6 weeks of playing fantasy football. Don't drop guys because they're going to end up booming when you drop them, especially if they are starters and they are getting consistent targets. All right, moving on to my number 10 guy. Y'all might be surprised with this guy, but it's Isaiah Likely. It's Isaiah Likely. And the reason why, guys, I like Isaiah Likely is because I believe he's going to be used as a hybrid type wide receiver / tight end. I think Mark Andrews will be the normal tight end, but Isaiah Likely will be playing wide receiver like a slot hybrid Shannon Sharp type role. He reminds me of Shannon Sharp. Now, I don't think he is crafty as Shannon Sharp is or the route runner that Shannon Sharp is right now, but I believe he will get to that point in his career. He also is a mismatch. He can block. He may not be the inline blocker that Mark Andrews is, but he's a big guy, 240 pounds that can block. So if you try to put a corner or a safety on him, he's going to take advantage of you in the run game. If you try to put a linebacker on him, he's going to beat him in the pass game. So that's why I believe Isaiah Likely is going to be a matchup nightmare, and they're going to implement him more in schemes. So I like this guy. That's why I'm telling you, you ain't got to draft tight ends early. You can stream them. That's one of the positions that you can stream this year. Now, it's always a guy that's going late that you can pick up, like a Kyron Williams or a Jordan Love, right? But that don't mean that everybody should do that, right? That don't mean everybody's going to hit on a late round guy. But tight end, I think it's easy because they all are only a couple points from each other, right? They only a couple points from each other. It's like 7 or 8 tight ends that's like 25 points from each other. They're not really making a difference. Now, Travis Kelce was the only one that made a difference in the past, but that stopped this year. And I think it's going to start for the rest of his career because he's just going to be a playoff tight end. All right, guys, moving on. I got a couple of bonus guys for you. I don't got these guys pictures, but it's a couple of bonus guys. Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert is going to be a guy that I believe that it's going to always be a solid tight end for you. He's not going to be giving you a lot of boom, but he's going to be solid. So I'm willing to pick him up and play him with Jalen Hurts. Also, Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid got some upside. So you can go, if you wanted to go with a young tight end, I think he has more upside than maybe a guy like Mark Andrews, right? Because, they need to transform this offense with Josh Allen where Dalton Kincaid can take a value. This year they started off doing it, but it tilted off a little bit. I don't believe Stephon Diggs will be there. So I'm not saying Dalton Kincaid is going to take over the Stephon Diggs role, but he's going to get more targets, about 8 to 10 targets a game, I believe. That's why they drafted him. They drafted him in the first round for that particular reason. So, guys, I'm going to get to a few people questions before I get out of here. What's going on, Harambe? What's up, bro? Harambe says, do you still view Mark Andrews as a tight end 1 for 2024? No, I do not. I do not think he's a tight end 1. I think he's more of a tight end 2, but you should draft him at late. You know what I'm saying? But don't draft him to be a consistent 15-point guy, right? In the past, he's been a consistent 15-point guy. I believe Lamar Jackson is transforming this offense where he's going to be going more to guys like Isaiah Likely, Zay Flowers. He's going to be spreading the ball around. He's not going to really have a super alpha target guy, right? What's going on, Mr. Anderson? Yes, I believe so. Pitts is going to have a redemption season because he's going to have a better quarterback who can get him the ball. You got to throw jump balls to Kyle Pitts. You got to throw him back shoulder balls. He's not really a quick twitch route running guy. He's a guy where it's one-on-one, throw it up, I'm going to mouse him. He did it at Alabama. He killed a lot of the top corners that's in the league right now that we say, oh, this guy's good. Kyle Pitts ate him for breakfast. So you have to give this guy a chance. Desmond Ridder can't do it. Mr. Anderson, Pitts wasn't healthy at the beginning of the season, so I think he will be better this year. I agree with that. He would be better next year. Right, correct. Also, he needed a better quarterback, too. I think he would have been okay with a better quarterback, but he wasn't that healthy. He played through it. He couldn't even cut on the left side, I believe. It might have been the right side or the left side. He wasn't really doing a lot of routes to that side of the field. Dollar Bill says, for Dynasty, the Ravens can get out of Mark Andrews' contract after next year. Yeah, I don't think they will. I think he takes a discount. He stays there, and he's a veteran. Now, listen, he's going to have games where he's going to be targeted in the red zone. He might have 9 or 10 touchdowns, but he's not going to have no 90 receptions. They're not going to wear him down like that. So he's going to be used when it comes to playoff time. Mark Andrews is going to be used. Same thing with Travis Kelce. These guys are they older now. Look at Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, when his last couple of years with Baltimore and also Denver, he wasn't being used in week 3 and getting 12 targets like he was early in his career. The reason why, because they didn't want this guy to, he had ankle problems. Shannon Sharp did. And so they didn't want him to wear his ankle down. He had to shoot up his ankle almost every game. So why would you wear his ankle out in a game that doesn't matter? Same thing with Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. So I believe Mark Andrews, when his contract does come up or they ask him to negotiate, he will do it just to stay on the team and be a vet because he's got his money. He's already got one big deal already. Yep. All right, guys. So I'm going to go through this list one more time before I get out of here. Again, number 1, my number 1 tight end next year that I'm targeting is going to be Trey McBride. Number 2 is going to be Travis Kelce. Number 3 is going to be Sam Laporta. Number 4 is going to be David Njoku. Number 5 is going to be Kyle Pitts. Number 6 is going to be Jake Ferguson. Number 7 is going to be Cole Kmet. Number 8, Mark Andrews. Number 9, George Kittle. And number 10, Isaiah Likely. Harambe says, you like Jawan Johnson at all? Yes, I like Jawan Johnson, but I couldn't get him on the list. That's why I'm telling you the tight end position is deep. Look, Jawan Johnson was on the waivers, and then in the 4th quadrant, he was a boom. He boomed. He boomed the last 3 weeks. He was a top 5 tight end the last 3 weeks of the season. He might have been top 2. That's why I'm telling you, you can stream tight ends. Let somebody else take Mark Andrews and George Kittle and Travis Kelce or Sam Laporta and think they're going to have a tight end going crazy with about 120 catches. Let them do that. You don't want that headache. You just keep streaming the position. Dollar Bill says Conklin is a sleeper with Aaron Rodgers. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that. That's why you don't have to draft tight end. Guys, it's like, really far as guys that's decent enough to put in your lineup, it's like 14, 15 guys. It's kind of like the way quarterbacks used to be back about 6 years ago, where you could stream a quarterback. All the quarterbacks were scoring between 19 to 24 points. And then all of a sudden you got these guys like Pat Mahomes and Lamar coming in and they started scoring 30 points, 40 points. And that you can't stream quarterbacks anymore because the guys, they're not putting up enough points with these running quarterbacks now. So, but now with the way the game is played, you can stream a lot of different tight ends. No tight end is getting where I think Trey McBride could possibly be one of those guys like a Travis Kelce, where he has like 120 catches, 1,200 yards, and about 13, 14 receiving touchdowns. I think he could be that guy. I don't see any of these other guys being that. Maybe Sam Laporta. I don't think he gets hyper targeted, but I think he can put up big time touchdowns because you can never double team Sam Laporta. If you double team Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to eat you alive, vice versa. So I think that keeps Sam Laporta with a lot of touchdown upside, not a high target guy in PPR. Now, in standard and half point PPR, Laporta is a beast. He's a monster because he's getting almost a touchdown every week. That's the way he looked this week. And then when the weeks he didn't, the next week he got like 2 or 3 touchdowns. So Sam Laporta is that dude when it comes to touchdowns. But targets is going to be Trey McBride. Harambe says, I wish Jawan had more playing time. Dude is electric. Right. I can't trust anybody on the Saints. I'm not trusting. Only guy that I trust is Rashid Shaheed. Why? Because I'm getting them late. I'm not trusting Alvin Kamara right now on that team. I mean, I draft him, but I'm not drafting him in the second round. There's too much other talent there that I'd rather have. I'm not trusting Chris Olave. I'm not trusting Derek Carr. I'm not trusting Taysom Hill. I'm not trusting nobody. Now, I'll take Juwan Johnson if I can get him in the 8th, 9th, 10th round, you know what I'm saying, or a backup tight end just to stash him and see what happens, yes. But I'm not taking him early, which I know you're not saying that, but I do believe the dude can play. It just is so volatile over there. You don't know what's going to happen. I think they should move on from Dennis Allen. That's just me, though. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get ready to get out of here, guys. Y'all be safe. I see y'all later. I will be doing another live probably before the 4 o'clock game. So, guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Harami says, for sure, I ain't trusting either, but I think he could be one of the elite tight ends if given the looks and playing time. I agree 100% with that. I agree with that. That's why I drafted a lot of Juwan Johnson this year. I held on to him in a few leagues, and he helped me down the stretch in a few leagues. All right, bro. Y'all be safe. Peace.
Okay, turn me up. They don't want no smoke, I'm in my bag. Bitch, I'm rolling up. They say that shit hot. Hot, bitch, I'm burning up. Yeah, let's talk some business. Ain't no money, I ain't showing